Brought to you by Game of Sups with the best damn cup in town. You gotta drink sometime. And when you do, might I recommend a cup? Huh. Yep, that's me, Nate Fallout. And I just had the worst day. First, the nuclear bombs went off. Then they put me in an underground bunker. They shot my wife. And stole my son. And unfroze me 200 years later. I'd say could it get any worse, but then I went outside and it was a wasteland. Everything I knew was gone. So I set out to avenge my wife, killing a guy called Kellogg. And along the way, I made a couple of new friends. Piper.
It's the scary reporter. Ooh.
And Detective Valentine.
I have to go get my back blown out. Huh.
And we've got a whole new mission. To find our way into the Institute and rescue my stupid son, Sean. So Nate runs back to Diamond City and meets Detective Valentine and Piper at the old newspaper hole. We catch our chums mid-conversation.
Well. So,
Piper squeakily turns in her leather jacket and says,
finally letting me in on this little case of yours. What's the story?
We need help, Piper. This man named Kellogg kidnapped my son. But that wasn't all. He was working with the Institute.
The Institute. Oh boy. I've been investigating these creeps for over a year now. The Commonwealth's boogeyman. Feared and hated by everyone.
True enough.
Hey, thanks for the input, Valentine.
Sometimes they snatch people in the middle of the night.
And sometimes they break into your house at nighttime and they pee in your bed, but it wasn't my fault. And then you get in trouble with your mom.
True enough.
But to this day, there's one thing nobody really knows.
Where the Institute actually is. Or how to get in.
Oh, Mr. B. Big mystery. If no one can get in, why do they call it the Institute? I bet you just call it the Institute.
Piper ignores Mr. Z, who is very pleased with himself.
But there's one person who has to know, right?
Kellogg.
It's a shame you exploded his head like a can of spaghetti sauce in a fireworks factory. Because he's pretty much the only guy in the wasteland who would know how to get in there. Oh, wait, no, we can still talk to him, says Nate. Give me a chance. I'm gonna do a funny.
We can talk to him. Feel like holding a seance?
Yeah, if only.
Nate's son, Sean, is but a distant memory in the rearview mirror.
So,
You know,
Wait, says Valentine. I just had a robo idea.
we may not need the man at all.
Valentine turns to Nate and says,
There's a place in Good Neighbor called the Memory Den.
Memory Den? Inquires Nate.
Relive the past moments in your mind as clear as the day they happened.
If we go back to Fort Hagen, scoop up some of Kellogg's brain, and take it to Dr. Amari at the Memory Den, maybe she'll let us take a look at his memories.
Jesus, Nick, gross, seriously?
I know it's grisly, but what choice do we have?
But luckily, Nate already has something.
Actually, I think I already have something.
Look, I've got a piece of Kellogg's brain. I collected it in the previous video, just in case.
Kellogg had this thing attached to his head.
What's Nate talking about? I didn't watch part 1.
So in the last episode, Mr. Z, you'll remember, after we killed Kellogg, we pulled this little cybernetic implant thing out of his skull, and it's still got little chunks of his brain on it. Ooh.
If anyone could get a dead brain to sing, it'll be Dr. Amari.
All right, so let's head off to Good Neighbor, says Valentine. It's a seedy, crime-ridden, dangerous town. You're gonna need someone pretty hard-boiled to escort you around those parts.
That's a good idea, Valentine, says Nate.
I'll head out with Piper.
Oh.
We'll meet you there, Nick.
Oh.
And off we go to Good Neighbor.
So we arrive at the outskirts of Good Neighbor.
It's a half-dilapidated town, covered in neon signs and old boards of wood.
Very post-apocalypse. We head through the front door, and here's trouble.
It doesn't look like people are happy to see us.
Hey,
Hold up there.
What's going on? There's a tough guy in a leather jacket looking straight at us. He's bald and has a scar on his left cheek.
The description matches. Bald head, scar.
First time in Good Neighbor? You can't go walking around without insurance.
Give us one of them sarcastic options, Mr. B.
Unless it's keep dumb assholes away from me insurance. I'm not interested.
What do you think of that clip, Mr. B?
I'm pretty sure a bank wouldn't offer that.
You hand over everything you got in them pockets, or accidents start happening to you. Big, bloody accidents.
Wait a minute. This bald roughneck is threatening us.
There's no point in saying an accident is going to happen to you when you're just making a threat. Like, why you just say, I will hurt you. Give me money. Come on, Piper. Let's get out of here before anyone else finds out we're not insured.
So we hit the streets of Good Neighbor, and in the middle of town is an old cabaret theatre. This is the Memory Den. We're here. We head in.
It's nice old brick inside, and there's like a cabaret kind of theme.
There's dim lights, red curtains, a bunch of shit on the floor. But the big attraction are these pods that look like armchairs with TV screens inside. And at the end of the hall is a blonde temptress of a lady, splayed out on a crimson lounge.
Oh, yowza, Mr. B. And might I add, a wooga. Who's that?
This is the owner of the Memory Den, Irma. It's not a very sexy name.
What's the point of wearing an outfit that nice on a recliner that nice when everything is just, like, unswept? You know what I mean? Just, like, mop once. Anyway, Nate struts up and says, is this the Memory Den?
Do you even know what we do here?
No.
We let you relive the past.
Okay. Well, sort of. It's basically just VR, but with your memories. Suddenly, Valentine walks in, uninvited, and he starts chatting up the lady.
Well, Mr. Valentine, I thought you had forgotten about little old me.
May have walked out of the den, Irma, but I'd never walk out on you.
Anyway, Toots, we gotta see Dr. Amari.
Amari's downstairs, you big flirt.
Nate visibly cringes.
We follow Detective Valentine into the basement of the building.
And there we reach a room with 2 more pods and a doctor lady. This is Dr. Amari.
Dr. Amari?
Yes?
Amari turns around and says,
I take it this isn't a social call.
We are taken aback by the way that she speaks. It's almost as if she's tracing her finger along the page as she reads the script for the first time.
You're the one who can extract memories from a brain, right?
Technically, that's correct. However,
normally we only allow our clients to experience their own memories. Now what's this all about?
We need your help, Doctor. It's time for you to reverse death itself.
What?
I wouldn't have put it quite that way, but it's true. We need a dead man's memories. Guy named Kellogg.
I ripped out part of his brain, says Nate. Do you reckon you could squeeze something out of it?
Are you two mad?
I know it's asking for a miracle, Amari, but you've pulled off the impossible before.
Putting aside the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse, you don't realize that the memory simulators require intact, living brains to function.
sarcasm, please.
I mean, technically the corpse was defiled already.
Good point. I guess that makes it okay, says Dr. Amari.
Do you have it with you?
Right, this is serious. Pick the sarcastic option.
Could you say that like Dr. Frankenstein? Ego, fetch me the brain. No?
No, I will not. Now, do you have it?
I'm not gonna lie, Amari's a bit of a stick in the mud.
Also, I'm tired of looking at that seam down her perfectly symmetrical face.
Here's what I could find.
Nate then hands Dr. Amari a random
this?
chunk of brain with some techie gizmos and shit sticking out of it.
This is... Wait, that's the hippocampus. And this thing attached to it? A neural interface?
This is a very complicated technical mumbo-jumbo, Mr. B. I hope it has a payoff.
It does, because Nick recognizes this tech.
Those circuits look awfully familiar.
Kind of like the circuits I have in my synth brain.
From what I've seen, all Institute technology has a similar architecture.
Skip to the good part, Doc.
We plug the brain implant into Mr. Valentine. If we are lucky, it should hook right in.
Whoa. So we're gonna put a piece of Kellogg's brain in Nick Valentine's brain?
Yes.
But even if this works, Mr. Valentine would be taking on a tremendous amount of risk.
That's okay by me.
I just met the guy.
Don't worry about me, Amari. Let's do it.
Piper in the door. She's like, would it hook into my brain, Doctor?
Just doesn't get it.
Piper, get out of here. I mean, I like that they're like really treating it like you and Nick are best buds in the whole world. It's like, I don't care.
We choose the sarcastic option.
We should try plugging you into a toaster next. Fresh toast.
It's nice to know that even when I'm about to have a foreign object shoved into my noggin, you find new horrible ways to laugh at my expense.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine, just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
Sorry, Nikki, but I never pull out. So Valentine sits down in a
Let's see
wheelie
here.
chair, and then Amari starts fiddling with the back of his synth brain.
I need you to keep talking to me,
Amari
Mr.
does a bunch
Valentine.
of science
Any
mumbo
slight
jumbo.
change in
But
your cognitive
it looks
functions
like
could
the
be
brain
done.
piece is not
Are you
compatible.
feeling any different?
There's a lot of flashes. Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded.
Oh, the mnemonic impressions are encoded, Mr. Z. Fuck!
One last failsafe. There's a lock on the memories in the implant.
More problems. Seriously?
Just let me think. The encryption is probably meant to keep a single mind from accessing the data. So, what if we use two?
2 minds, Amari? Are you insane?
We load both you and Mr. Valentine into the memory loungers.
Then his brain will start playing Kellogg's memories, and you can watch them. It'll be like going to the movies, but you can play them.
Now, Nate asks a fairly innocent question.
Nick and I are gonna share a mind? Yeah, I'm not gonna see him in any compromising positions, am I?
And Detective Valentine has had enough.
If a smart mouth was all it took to solve problems, we would have found your son by now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, well, Nate, if you weren't such a prick.
Maybe your son wouldn't be dead by now.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's get started.
Just sit down over there and keep your fingers crossed.
So Detective Valentine stealths into the pod. And Nate does too.
It closes, and a screen comes down in front of him. Time for some memories.
Initiating brainwave migration.
Dr.
between
Amari
transplant
continues
and the host.
blathering technical
Mnemonic
mumbo
activity
jumbo
coming from
that
the
don't mean
transplant.
nothing.
It's degenerated, but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on.
So we head into Nick Valentine's brain. So we head into Kellogg's memories, and everybody knows that this is the most tedious part of the game. And so we wanted to show you it in a less tedious way. Into the memory den, the childhood of Kellogg. Here he is growing up as a young boy. He's full of vim and moxie, but his mother hands him an Irish lollipop. Here, have a suck on this one. Looks like a typical healthy American childhood, but there's trouble on the simmer. Then, he grows up, and he has a lovely wife. She's a real pipe steamer, but she won't steam his pipe. Look, they have a young child, brought about through intercourse. It's the American way, but if Kellogg's to take care of it, he'll have to find money somehow. Off he goes to find gainful employ. But he's knotted himself in with a bunch of bad-time Johnnies. They're powerful mad, and they kill his whole family. Now he's going solo, a bachelor once again. So he starts sourcing down his sorrows at the old saloon, but then a new job offer. He goes and he meets some robots. The parallels to the Wild West sure are uncanny. They offer him a job. You're the new sheriff in town, the sheriff of the Institute. I'll do it, says Kellogg. Fast forward to the future, Vault 111. An old icebox, and it's got a lady inside, this time with a babe. It's the American way, and then Kellogg steals that baby and keeps it in his house. They call that brutalist decor. Suddenly, a man from the continent phases through the wall. Within his grasp is an itinerary order. One young boy, please. We hand it over tout de suite. Hopefully it's off to boarding school with young Sean. Bonsoir, says Kellogg. And, oh, what's this? Young Sean and the strange gentleman ride off on a bolt of lightning. All in a day's work for Kellogg, and now he's off to his next mission, to find some two-timer named Virgil. Virgil was a scientist with the Institute, but he flew the coop and took a stash of their secrets with him. So Kellogg has to track him down and wring his cloth dry.
So to summarize, Kellogg also had a wife and kid, but they were cruelly taken from him. Is this all sounding familiar?
No, Mr. B? Did something happen to you?
But the hot gossip, Mr. Z, is that we see how 10-year-old Sean got taken back to the Institute. Choo!
What?
Big blue beam.
What? So, it seems as though there's some form
Of
teleportation. That's how no one can get Institute. But, Mr. B, they mentioned someone named Virgil. Maybe that's a lead?
I reckon we follow it up.
We awakened from the memory pod. How long has it been? 200 years?
Slow movements, okay? I don't know what kind of
thing's
side
got
effects
stims
the
in it.
procedure
What is
might
she doing?
have.
What?
How do you feel?
We pick the sarcastic option.
Next time I have to watch someone's life story, I want popcorn.
Well, if you're cognizant enough to joke, I think we can safely say that you're out of critical condition.
I'm far better than critical condition, Amari. I found the secret I needed.
The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out.
Wow!
But that only leads to more questions. How does it work? Where do we go next?
But Nate hasn't lost his comic stylings. He's still very funny.
What? You don't have a spare teleporter lying around? What kind of egghead are you?
This is serious. No one...
Oh, Mr. B, it looks like another dead end.
Not quite, Mr. Z, because Nate has an idea. In the memories, the man from the Institute mentioned a guy called Virgil, so Nate suggests...
That scientist Kellogg was supposed to track down. Virgil. We need to find him.
Says Amari.
A rogue Institute scientist could answer all kinds of questions.
like how to build a teleporter.
The Institute tracked him to the glowing sea, but that seems crazy. A madman would think twice about going there.
Oh, that's mental. That's fucking nuts. But why, Dr. Amari? Why is it so crazy? What's the glowing sea like?
The name says it all. Radiation.
Whoa, it's where the nuclear bombs dropped all those years ago, Nate. God, there's so much radiation there, Nate. It is crazy. There's
So much that nothing there could possibly live.
not one thing. Well, other than the rad scorpions and the blood flies and death claws and the ghouls, but other than those things, Nate, there's nothing.
If we need to find Virgil, then I'm going after him.
If you're going to go, be prepared. You'll need some way to combat the radiation there. Maybe one of those suits of power armor? That would be perfect.
Alright, so we're told that we can go to the glowing sea if we go and get some power armor. But where are we going to find that?
Mr. Zed, don't we have some power armor? Back in Red Rocket?
Oh my god. We could go to there. Yeah, hold on, Mr. B. Sarcastic option.
Oh, I'm going in naked. Fingers crossed I get superpowers.
That's crazy. I know you're joking, but as a doctor, I feel obligated to remind you that unprotected
Alright, that's great, Amari. See you
radioactive-
later. We head back upstairs, and we see, there's Mr. Valentine, and he's sitting on a nice couch. Splayed out on it, if you will.
Alright, Valentine, we're off to the glowing sea to find some dude called Virgil. But when Valentine replies,
Hope you got what you were looking for inside my head.
Nick responds in Kellogg's voice.
Boy, does this complicate things.
He says,
I was right. I should have killed you when you were on ice.
What did you say? Kellogg? Is that you?
Oh no, Mr. B. Kellogg has taken over Detective Valentine's brain.
What? What are you talking about?
You feeling all right, Nick?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
this could be massive, Mr. Z. Just think of what this means. The implications if Kellogg has taken over Valentine's brain. We picked a sarcastic option.
Wait. Were you just playing a joke on me?
I guess that's for you to wonder and for me and Kellogg's memories to know for sure.
That's for the player to wonder and for the writing team at Bethesda to never bring up again.
That's crazy.
Well, anyway, I'm going to the glowing sea now to find this Virgil guy. Goodbye.
Alright, well, I'm going back to Diamond City. My people need me.
Good luck out there.
Come on, Mr. B, we gotta get back to Red Rocket so we can get that power armor.
And you'll notice, Mr. Z, I've made a couple of adjustments to it. I covered it in delicious lead paint to make it more radiation resistant.
Good try, Mr. B, but that's actually lead paint. Now let's do it. Let's move on to the next chapter of the story.
Going to the glowing city. What's gonna happen there? I don't know.
3, 2, 1, lift off! Mr. B, I cannot believe we went into Kellogg's memories. What a harrowing journey that was.
I honestly, you look at his bald head, you wouldn't have think he'd had so many great stories in there.
He had such a tough life.
My favorite part about the whole Kellogg thing, well, they try and do this whole like, yeah, don't you see? You know, you kind of have parallel lives. Don't you feel sorry for him? He lost... No. You shot my wife. I'd do it again.
Yeah, it didn't generate any sympathy. We wouldn't have done that. Dr. Amari, I can't help but feel like I'm falling in love.
Yeah, she is a little bit of a sweetheart, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like she's reading the script for the very first time, and so it's like, that's what makes it special, you know?
Because it's like, she hasn't said these lines to anyone else. She's saying them to us. Have you seen her character art they have for the Fallout Shelter Online game?
No, go on.
I feel like some particular artistic liberties were taken with her character.
That's crazy.
So I suppose, like, what is the memory den exactly? You go in there and then you just sort of relive memories. I don't know, it feels very underdeveloped.
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, we can go into someone's memory. What? Yep. Anyway, we can do that.
It's like a lot of the problem with Fallout 4 is I think they had a cool idea for something and then we're like...
Well, they've pulled in so many things. So it's like, okay, we crossed brains with Kellogg and Valentine. Therefore, now they share a personality. Oh my God, what a revelation. What are you going to do with it? Nothing. By the way, you can go into people's memories and people become so addicted that they stay in there forever. Oh my God, that's so interesting. What do you do with it? Nothing. What's up with Irma? She's almost selling herself as a mistress of some, like, sordid bordello type thing. But it's just like a place where you revisit memories and there's a scientist downstairs. Why are they pretending it's seedy?
Well, she gets mad if you imply that when you meet her for the first time. If you make a comment about, like, you know, sex, she's like, no, how dare you?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sorry.
Oh, you have the wrong idea, honey. I don't sell skin. I sell memories.
She, like, turns off the switch on the neon sign that says, like, girls, girls, girls. How dare you? Right, so the way into the Institute now is to go to the glowing sea so that we can find some guy called Virgil, I guess. He must be like Dr. Amari, but, like, even more science-y.
Well, I mean, you did see Virgil's Fallout Shelter Online art, right?
No.
Okay, just put, like, a really hot naked guy on the screen. Thank you.
We arrive at the glowing sea.
We're surrounded by the ruins of the old world, Mr. Z. There's all manner of scary radiation monsters around. Deathclaw! But there's whole lakes here filled with game assaults, so it's not all bad. Yummy.
So we keep pushing on through the desolate green.
And eventually happen upon a lone rocky cave deep in the glowing sea.
Ooh, seems spooky.
Oh, we muster our courage and head in.
Inside the cave, there are all sorts of traps and lights and stuff. Look out, there's one right there. Rounding the corner, we see some pretty serious security.
And as we creep further in, we see something. It's a robot, Mr. Z! Are you Virgil?
Protect and serve.
Oh, it's just a normal robot. Thank God.
Oh my God, Shrek has started doing crocodile.
No, Mr. Z. Shrek is a DreamWorks original. That there is a super mutant. They're humans that have been dunked into this goo that turns them into big, scary green guys. Oh.
Hold it. Take it nice and slow. No sudden moves.
Quick, Nate, say something.
Nate splutters out.
Are you Virgil?
You know damn well I am.
We definitely didn't, but okay. This is Dr. Brian Virgil, then, I guess.
Our missing Institute scientist.
You're a super mutant.
Yes. Clearly you have functioning eyes. Congratulations.
Virgil picks the sarcastic option.
I wasn't expecting an Institute scientist to be a super mutant, Virgil. What a Pagliarulo twist.
Well, the Institute sucks and I hated it, so I had to escape.
And I turned myself into a super mutant to do it. It made me very inconspicuous.
I bet, man. It's good you're here, actually, because I need your help with something. My son...
Yes, and ever since then I've been hanging out in the glowing sea, all on my own.
Okay.
With only my science to keep me company.
My son, he got kidnapped. My wife's dead.
Let me show you some of my experiments. I would put baking soda with vinegar.
Wow, whoa, that's crazy, man.
Look, Nate, if I run this comb through my hair and then touch the little pieces of paper, they move.
Ah, God.
It's a new kind of electricity. I call it comb energy.
Giant green idiot.
Well, if you don't care about my experiments...
Why are you even here? What do you want?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, what do you want?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Virgil. I need a way into that institute. I gotta get inside there. And seeing as you escaped...
I need whatever information you've got. Anything to help me get into the Institute.
I'm sorry, what?
You
what? Want to get into the Institute? Are you insane?
Are you insane? That is dumb.
That is shocking. That is...
Crazy.
There are powers there beyond your comprehension, and I will never, ever help you get in there.
You see, Virgil, I do have a good reason.
I'm trying to find my son. The Institute kidnapped him.
Virgil quickly changes his tune to sad.
Oh.
That recontextualizes everything.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can help.
Let me help you, and also it's not so unrealistic. Come on, actually, I got a thing for you already.
But I'm going to need something in return.
What do you want from me?
Before I had to escape, I was working on a serum that would serve as a cure for my condition. I was experimenting on super mutant stuff back at the Institute. By creating a mixture of both Benadryl and Red Bull, I had the perfect balance of uppers and downers. It was a cure for super mutantism. However, I left this important concoction back in the lab. How silly of me.
So I can help you get into the Institute, so long as when you get there, you go and fetch my serum.
Please, I want to be human again. What do you say?
You help me and I'll help you.
Alright then, says Virgil. Let's talk about how we'll get you into the Institute. First things first. You know how synths get in and out of the Institute?
We do, Mr. B. And Nate says...
Yeah, they use some sort of teleporter?
It's commonly referred to as the molecular relay. Dematerializes you in one place, rematerializes you in another. I'm sure it sounds crazy, but it's a reality.
I was on board with teleporter, but you're telling me it's a molecular relay?
Now, have you ever seen an Institute courser?
A courser? What's that?
Another Institute secret. Coursers are Institute synths, designed for one purpose. They're hunters.
They are pretty much just Blade Runners. They are literally me.
And you're going to have to kill one.
So in summary, coursers have a teleportation chip in their head. So you need to kill a courser and steal that chip if you want to do a teleportation.
No worries, Virg, my man. I'm on the case.
So we leave Virgil heading to these CIT ruins and track down a courser to a nearby office building. We need that courser chip.
Alright, so we get to the top of the building and there we see... There's a man in a black leather duster, and he is holding a bunch of gunners, you know, that faction of people,
High-end mercenaries.
hostage. Look out, Mr. B, that's the courser! And then he kills one of them. The courser approaches, engaging with us in text-to-speech-like dialogue.
Are you here for the synth?
We're damn nervous. This is a killing machine. But... we choose the sarcastic option.
I'm here to pick up an order. 2 large pepperoni and a calzone. Name is... you?
Oh my god.
It just never makes sense. The guy will be like, I have a gun. I'm going to kill you. And Ned will be like, my name is Jeff? Like, what?
What do you want?
I need Ed.
That you cannot have.
All right then, says Nate.
I'm here to kill you.
Let us battle.
That's time. Nate severs the courser's head from his neck with bullets. Just like Dr. Amari taught us, with surgical precision.
But that seems crazy.
So we pull the courser chip out of this dude's neck. Bingo.
Oh, Mr. B, we forgot about the hostages. Let's talk to him.
Excuse me.
Don't shoot!
No hesitation.
Nate and Piper step into a nearby elevator to go back down to the ground floor. Alright, so now we have the courser chip. What are we meant to do with it?
Let's go back to Amari and use the sarcastic option.
So we head back to the memory den to see Dr. Amari.
You're back. The glowing sea. Virgil. What happened?
You won't believe what happened. I found Virgil, and I went to the glowing sea, and I killed a guy and shoved my hand down his neck.
Oh, you know, took a radiation bath, hung out with a big green guy, then I pulled this encoded chip out of a courser's neck.
A courser chip? You fought a courser? Oh my god.
How does she know what a corset is?
Because she's a scientist?
Do you know anything about decoding courser chips?
Unfortunately, I can't help you. I don't know what that chip does, but there are people who might. I work with a group called the Railroad.
Did she just say the Railroad? But what the heck is the Railroad, says Nate? Well, they are a secret organization.
They help synths escape the Institute.
So they know way more about the Institute than I do. They'll probably know what to do with a courser chip, Nate.
Next up, the Railroad. Choo-choo!
Oh my god. Anyway, you need a code phrase in order to find them. Follow the Freedom Trail. Good luck.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, this is my favorite line in the whole game.
In my secret club, the code phrase is just 2 words. Awesome and me.
Oh.
It's good. You get it. It's good. You get it. It's good. Listen, fellas, there's a reason this game sold 25 million copies.
And it wasn't because of Skyrim, alright? So anyway, to summarize, Amari says,
Doodly-doodly-doo, I can't help you, but the Railroad can. Good luck finding them. Thanks so much, Amari. I'll always remember you.
So we leave Good Neighbor in search of this freedom trail.
Oh my gosh, so much has happened, Mr. B.
I feel like I've lived 10 lifetimes in the wasteland.
We went to the glowing sea, we met Virgil, and he just turned out to be like a real cracked out Shrek. And then he said, what are you doing in me swamp? And then he said, you gotta go get a courser chip. Oh, and then we went and got a courser chip. And, oh, so many things. Okay. You get green, your skin texture goes a bit fucked up, but of all the super mutants I've seen, everyone's like 6'6" and really fucking jacked. So these are kind of not terrible trade-offs, right?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to be a weatherman.
That's great. Can we throw him on a green screen and just like, today will be cloudy with a 30% chance of rain?
Yeah, so the glowing sea, Mr. Z, I have some, let's say, issues with the glowing sea.
Right.
Dr. Amari says to you that you would die in seconds if you go there.
Yes.
But the glowing sea can kill a man in seconds.
You can run the entire way from the entrance of the glowing sea to Virgil's cave naked and survive comfortably.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never tried that. We got that courser chip, and now we are going back to Amari, and Amari is going to say...
Why'd you say it like that?
Amari? I'm allowed to say that. I'm from New Zealand. So we're going to go back to Amari, and then we are going to say, I love you, Amari, and...
I don't like doing things without telling you, Mr. Z. Once we finished playing this part, I did go back in the game and put Nora's wedding ring on Dr. Amari's finger. So Nate and Dr. Murray are actually married in canon in the game now. I thought it'd be a nice little surprise.
I ran up to her real fast and I said, say, what if we want to get married? And she goes, what? And you go, too bad. And then I shoved the ring on her finger and it cut her up real bad, but she's good.
Anyway, so now we're off to find The railroad, Mr. Z. Let's find that freedom trail.
It's just one thing into another. Sometimes it feels like this game is on rails. Road.
Oh, yes. In Fallout New Vegas, it's different.
Alright, so we arrive at Boston Commons, where the Freedom Trail begins.
And when we rock up, there's a robot tour guide here. It says,
"Welcome, Patriot, to the start of the Freedom Trail."
And Nate's like,
"Tell me about the Freedom Trail."
"Listen, Nate, if you follow this red brick trail, it'll lead you to the railroad." You hear that, Mr. Z? If we follow this trail, it'll lead us right to the railroad. Off we go! So we follow the Freedom Trail on a grueling journey, the details of which are best left forgotten. But along the way, we find a secret code that spells out railroad. Secure.
What does it mean? What does it mean? Here we are at the end of the path, Mr. B.
We have been led to the Old North Church.
From Boston?
We go inside, and in the basement of the church is a bunch of old scary hallways.
We go down the hallway until we come across a dial that's got a whole bunch of letters and an arrow.
It spins.
So we spell out railroad, bing bing bong.
But that seems crazy.
There's a click, and we're in.
We turn to Piper, who is very impressed. Look at her face. She is like, my God, you did it.
That's the best damn journalism I've ever done to seen. You're the best, Blue. Here, a Pulitzer.
Mr. B, the door just slid open. Oh my God, this is so stupid. The password's railroad. Railroad.
Nate steps forth into the dark hallway and...
Stop right there.
Suddenly, there's 3 people pointing at us with guns.
And they mean business.
And Nate's like, "I'm here to pick up an order. 2 pepperoni and a calzone. Name is Jeff." And the lady in yellow says,
And you just happened to guess the password to the secret door.
The secret password, railroad, just to be clear.
Right. Who the hell are you?
Why don't you tell me who you are first?
Answer my question.
Tell me who you are.
She relents and says,
I'm Desdemona, and I'm the leader of the railroad.
Nate asks, "What is the railroad?"
You know what a synth is, right?
Aren't synths just machines?
They are synthetic humans created by the Institute. So close to real people that the distinction is meaningless. So we seek to free the synths from their bondage. Give them a chance at a real life.
Aren't there more important things to do? Isn't the average lifespan in the wasteland like 7? Haha, you're so funny, Nate. Anyway.
Why are you here?
Let's say, hypothetically, I've come into possession of a courser chip. Would you be able to help?
You have what? This is not a joking matter.
Haha, yeah, it would be a pretty epic joke to show up here and then just say I've got a courser chip.
But while Nate and Desdemona argue, a cool guy in shades slinks into the background.
I didn't know we were having a party. What gives with my invitation? Oh, I see you invited the courser killer. Nice.
Deacon, you're saying this intruder actually killed a courser? Single-handedly?
Des, we need to let him in. He's got an intact courser chip, for God's sake.
How does he know that?
Because Deacon has been following us the whole game.
What? Back up there.
He was in one of the memory pods in the memory den.
What?
He's even in Diamond City when you meet Piper.
Oh my God, this is so stupid.
Anyway, Desdemona says, "We can't just let Nate into the railroad."
That violates our security protocols.
Oh, Mrs. Z, now the security protocols.
Oh, yeah. The little riddles and the decoder ring trick really makes it hard to find you.
Yeah, you guys shitty puzzle.
Anyone that wants to meet us is under surveillance as soon as they follow the Freedom Trail. If you were a threat to our organization, all you'd find here is an empty room.
He killed a courser. There's no way he's working for the Institute.
How do you know that? Were you there?
Yeah.
I'm here to pick up an order. 2 large pepperoni and a calzone. Name is...
Anyway, Desdemona says, "Fine.
We're letting you into our headquarters. You're the first outsider ever to be given this privilege.
Ever!
We'll discuss the details about your chip inside."
Anyway, we're in. Just like that. Easy.
Don't try anything, stranger.
We having fun yet?
Nate follows the leader of the railroad, Desdemona, into their secret hideout.
And it is a mess, like every other place in the wasteland. Oh my god, just clean up the bricks. There's bricks everywhere, Mr. B. Just trash on the floor for no reason. They've got all this trouble to hide the base. We're the most sophisticated underground whatever, and then just shit all over the floor.
Inside the railroad HQ, Desdemona takes us over to this cool-looking tech guy.
Hey, Des. You need something?
Tom, our visitor here has a courser chip.
Whoa! For real?
Listen up, Nate. Decoding a courser chip, it's risky business. Luckily, we've got an expert in decoding courser chips right here. Nate, meet Tinker Tom.
Hey, Des.
But say, well, where'd you get the name Tinker Tom? And he's like, well, my name's Thomas. Tom will decode the courser chip for you, but on one condition. We get to keep the chip after.
Fine. It's yours.
All right. Tom, make it happen.
All right, little courser chip. Let's have the circuit analyzer take a crack at you.
Excuse me?
So we give Tinker Tom the chip, and he starts hacking.
All right, little courser chip.
Come on, baby. Show me that pattern. They've added more decimals to the last cipher. Come on, baby.
Show me that pattern. Where is it? We're in. Chip accessed. Encryption algorithms. All right. They've added more decimals to the last cipher.
This is what we're like when we're editing videos.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, when I do like a zoom keyframe, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe they changed the ciphering decoding sequence of the last keyframe cipher sequence.
Ooh. Yeah, we got it. We got the code. Ha ha ha. Let me load that onto the holotape for ya.
Good work, Tom.
Hey, yeah, but I'm not sure our luck will hold up next time, Des.
Start working on the rest of the chip. And you, I'd love to work with you more. Let me know if you're interested.
So we leave the railroad and never come back.
But, Mr. B, we have now the decoded courser chip data, which means we can reverse engineer a teleportation device. We leave the railroad and we go back to the glowing sea to see Virgil.
Wasn't sure I'd see you again. You managed to get what you need?
Nah, I just went out for a little stroll. Thought I'd stop back and say hi.
No, actually, I am a dick,
Fine. I shouldn't have doubted you'd come back. You're not the only one who's been busy.
So Virgil says, hey, good job getting that courser chip. And while you've been doing that, I've been busy too. Real busy. Making these teleporter plans, schematics and stuff. It's complicated. You wouldn't get it.
I did the best I could. From memory and things I've overheard through the years. Wasn't easy. And you have an even more difficult task ahead. Here's the simple explanation. You need to build a device that will teleport you into the Institute. Now go on. Take these and get to work. You do whatever it takes. Call on whoever you know to help you.
Because these schematics are really complicated, Nate. Like, really complicated. You're gonna need a team.
This is a lot for one person, even you.
I can probably ask my best friend Preston Gravy to help. He owes me big time.
I got it covered.
Good. And one last thing. Don't you forget our agreement. I've helped you as best I can. If you make it in there, you find that serum. It's my only hope for ever being...
Yeah, Virgil, the anti-supermutant serum, it's in your office, I got it, I get it, I won't forget, geez, get off my back.
Anyway, with Virgil's schematics in hand, we head back to Sanctuary.
And start thinking about how we're gonna make this gosh dang teleporter. Sean's waiting. So we head back to Sanctuary to see Preston. After all, the Minutemen help anyone at a minute's notice? Well, it's been more than 60 seconds, Preston, and I need a hand. Hey Preston, remember how you owe me big time for saving you and then letting you live in my old house? You see, I've got some schematics, some plans.
I need your help with these schematics.
Oh yeah? What are they for?
The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out. This machine can hijack their signal and send me instead.
What?
Teleportation? For real?
How did you find out about this? Says Preston.
Okay, hear me out. I killed this guy, I took part of his brain, right? And then I went over into his memories. And once I got his memories, I was then able to find this guy in the glowing sea. He was a super mutant, but he was friendly. He told me I can reverse the Courser chip and teleport into a place called the Institute. I know it's a conspiracy, but it's real. They took my son. And Preston's like, damn.
I'd like to help, but you know my situation. I've got to deal with the immediate problems first.
Do you recall from a month ago,
right,
when I said that there was a nearby settlement that needed help? So I tell you what, I
already saved you guys a while ago. You owe me.
No, there's a different settlement and they need help.
Oh my god.
So we go and do a bunch of settlement stuff. Setting up bases, we're fighting raiders. We even take over an old fort, which becomes the new Minuteman HQ. And with that, the Minutemen are back, baby. Our son, still missing.
This is just so ridiculous. When are we helping Sean?
Exactly. So, we go over to Preston.
Preston, please. Can we make the teleporter and find my son?
No worries, Nate. Let's take a look at those plans. Yeah, I don't know anything about teleporters, man. So we go over to Sturgis, Mr. Z. Remember that cool greaser guy mechanic from the last video?
Cherry, suit of cherry, T-45 cherry armor.
And Nate goes, look, Sturgis, I've got some plans for a cherry teleporter.
Here you go.
Wow, what a mess.
I'm gonna be honest, this isn't anything at all, Nate. Did you just find these attached to a fridge?
What the hell? Teleportation. This is some pretty crazy shit. You sure it's for real?
Naturally.
We picked the sarcastic option.
Either it is, or we end up building one hell of a paperweight.
He just completely disregards it. Well, Sturgis, can you build it?
Well, whoever wrote this does seem to know what they're talking about.
Incredible. It seems like Sturgis can make the teleporter.
You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Absolutely. Full faith in it. Oh my god, I'm excited. We're finally going to go to the Institute.
Just get on the platform.
You're going to test it with something first?
We walk up and stand on the platform. There's sparks flying everywhere. And I'm a little bit scared.
Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam.
We would never want that.
No, that's trouble.
Okay, and got it. Hold on to your butt.
Oh my god.
Oh, I want to go back. Boom. We're here.
Get used to it.
And we're ready for action. Oh my god, Mr. Z, we are here. We made it. The Institute.
We're going into the Institute. Oh, I can feel it. My bones. They're being disassembled. Molecular relay. What do you think happens when they are teleporting? Like, what does it feel like when you are disassembled?
I think it feels like, you know when you're brushing your teeth, but you're wearing like a sweater?
Yeah.
And then you like wash your hands or wash your brush, and like a little bit of water dribbles down your arm and dribbles down your sweater sleeve.
Yeah.
I reckon it feels like that, but it's all over.
Oh, no.
And it's a little bit chilly.
You know when you coat your whole body in coconut oil and then you roll around in the sand?
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that, I reckon.
But it's a little bit chilly, yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see my son again. He's going to be right there at the entrance, I bet. My boy! Sean's going to be there with his arms open. He's going to go, Papa, Papa, it's me.
He'll go, Papa, how was your speech at the Veterans Hall?
Son, war never changes.
And then Sean goes, but sons do? Aww. And then they hug. It like, circle iris wipes into black. And then that's the end of the game.
All right, let's go. All right, Mr. B, we are now Institute. What do we do now?
We walk off the teleporter platform, and the room we walk into is all white and science-y.
Ah, everything's so clean. Except there's still shit on the floor for some reason.
So Nate walks through this uncanny hallway, down some stairs, and to a big glass elevator. Suddenly, a voice rings out over an intercom.
Hello? Hello?
Is this thing on?
It was very spooky.
There's a man speaking, and he introduces himself as Father.
I am known as Father.
But to his friends, he's just Dad.
The Institute is under my guidance.
I know you are here for your son, but I would like to first speak with you, face to face.
Please, step into
We step in the elevator, and it starts to descend. Then Father keeps talking. He says,
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us.
Between Kellogg killing your wife and us making sense to kill people and replace them, you probably think, and I know it sounds crazy, but you probably think that we're like the bad guys or something.
I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression.
Eddie says, in a Jurassic Park kind of way,
Welcome to the Institute.
oh my god, look at this place. A spotless white atrium with trees and flowing water.
Why, it's an underground paradise, Mr. B.
Father goes on.
This is the reality of the Institute.
We've got clean water, food, and I'm sure you're familiar with our sins. We've even got one guy making gorillas. He's a bit of a character. You're gonna love meeting him later.
For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials.
Sometimes we will put fluoride in the water supply. Sometimes we will take it out. Sometimes I'll just tinkle in there and see if anyone notices. We have very mysterious ways.
The elevator reaches the bottom, and we walk out into another hall. Father says,
I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone.
I think you'd be good Institute material. We should work together and be best friends.
But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason.
I know why you're here. You're here for your son, Sean. He's pretty great. He's a good kid. You're gonna love him.
Just go into the next room. You will be reunited with him at last. Finally, this is it. We will be reunited once again with our son, Sean.
The doors open to a new room. At the end, we see something. A young boy sitting behind a glass wall, playing.
There he is, my boy.
Let me through! This is my boy!
He's back!
We tap loudly on the glass.
Sean?
Sean,
Yes,
it's me.
I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your...
Papa.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
The boy seems confused. You're not my dad. I don't know who you are. Leave me alone.
Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Suddenly,
Father, help
doors
me!
open.
An old man in a lab coat steps into the room. This must be Father.
You son of a bitch. You let my son get big. But then, the old guy says,
S923, recall code Cirrus.
Suddenly, the young boy gets deactivated. What the heck? What did you do?
Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand.
What do you mean a prototype? Are you saying that he's a synth?
Please try and keep an open mind.
I can't believe my wife did it with a synth behind my back. I knew my wife and Codsworth got along a little too well.
The old man introduces himself.
I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
This is it. The big confrontation. Nate calmly states,
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now!
I know. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, here I am. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time.
Yeah, it's really nice to meet you. Where's my son?
I am your son.
Look, I don't want to beat up an old guy, but I will. Tell me where Sean is.
It's me. I am Sean.
I don't get it.
You, Father. Me, Sean.
What?
No. But Sean is a baby, and you're an old man.
Oh, come on. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I know this is all difficult to take in.
It sure is. Although, I don't think I've lost my sense of humor just yet. Because Nate responds with,
God,
All we're missing are the teacups and the white rabbit.
That's an Alice in Wonderland reference.
Levity. Excellent.
Father does not laugh.
Just help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers, and answers you shall have.
Many moons ago, you were woken from your cryosleep. Kellogg came and took me as a baby, and shot your wife, and then you were refrozen. When you woke up, you tried to find me.
But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy.
Meaning that while you were in cryosleep, 10 years must have passed between Kellogg taking your son and you escaping the vault.
It was not 10, but 60 years.
Get out of here.
That is the reality.
60 years? 60 years, Mr. B? What a revelation. This changes everything.
God.
I know you must have questions. Please.
If it's true that there's a 60-year gap between when you were stolen as a baby and when I just fought Kellogg now, then how come while you got older, Kellogg looks exactly the same age?
Institute technology prolonged his life.
We pretty much made him a cyborg. Remember, Mr. Z, you know when we killed Kellogg and he had a bunch of cybernetic parts in him? That's what Father's talking about. Also, when I became director, I scrapped the whole project. Who needs youthful immortality? That's dumb. So no, there's no other cyborgs and no one else can become one.
So you gave the mercenary who orphaned you youthful immortality and let yourself become an old man? Yeah, but hold on, next question.
What's the deal with the little synth boy? Why would you make him look like a young version of you and then have Kellogg travel around with him on the surface? It doesn't make any sense.
It seems like a strange choice.
A pointless and stupid choice.
Something that you do as a plot contrivance.
I won't lie. It is.
Okay, so I just want to summarize this, make sure I'm getting all of this. So everything from Kellogg not aging because he's a cyborg to the 10-year-old synth boy, all of these things were just contrivances designed purely to obfuscate how long I was in cryosleep after you were taken, for no real reason other than to serve this big reveal that it was actually 60 years that passed and not 10. Ta-da!
This is insane. All of it.
His mouth. My son's a what?
Yes, making a fake synth son is a little bit kooky.
But I'll admit I'm curious.
Father Sean then asks an important question. What do you think about this little Sean fella? The synth version. Would you take him home and feed him? Walk him every day?
Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
They paid a voice actor to say, do you think you could love him? Like a real boy?
You know what would have been cooler than you making a 10-year-old synth of my son?
What's that?
A synth of my wife.
Ooh. Now, the pieces are all coming together in Nate's mind, but he still has questions. Okay, so that sort of explains how we got here, but why did any of this happen in the first place?
Why take a child? Why take you?
Now that's the question, isn't it?
Father is smug. He says,
why me? At that time, the Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics.
Which is to say, lab-grown people.
The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland.
So the Institute tried to find pre-war human DNA, and soon they found out about Vault 111, and they found me.
An infant, frozen in time.
Like a TV dinner.
Protected from the radiation-induced mutations. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics, used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father.
Hence the name, Father.
Now it's leader.
So essentially, the Institute kidnapped you as a baby so that they could use your unmutated pre-war DNA to make human synths?
Human-like synths. A great distinction.
As far as I'm concerned, they're not actually people.
Father then goes on to explain.
The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
And now that you've found me and everything, it's not like you've got anything else going on.
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Give the Institute a chance.
Oh, please join, Sis Father, please.
Will you take that chance?
We are easily swayed.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine.
So, mi casa, su casa, Sis Father, and welcome, es bueno, to Los Institutes.
So Nate gets to have a little bit of a look around the Institute.
Oh, what's there to find, Mr. B?
Well, the whole place is filled with synths and scientists. It's a bad day to be an untested hypothesis, Mr. Z. Come on, Nate. Let's go talk to a scientist now.
Hey, Doc.
Welcome. So good to have you here. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
Gorillas.
What?
What do you mean? Why would you make gorillas? What would be the fucking point of that?
They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Surely you make, like, an animal you can eat?
Yes, something with some utility before you...
But I don't believe that every discovery needs to be useful. Sometimes we innovate for no other reason than to learn what's possible.
Gorilla time!
I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is.
Next, Nate heads over to the synth department to see how synths are made.
Mr. B, what is all this? And what's all that goo?
So what they're doing is they put together a bunch of organic bones and muscles and then they dunk them in this red goo. And Viola, you've got yourself a balding middle-aged man ready to be sent off to the synth mines.
Oh, so these really are just like proper people, but synthetically produced.
Yeah, they've got like skeletons and everything.
So why can't they remake my wife?
I don't know.
She's preserved on ice and everything, Mr. B. What do you think would happen if you put your hand in the goo?
I believe that the goo is meant to be a different strain of FEV, which is the stuff that makes super mutants.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I wonder if it would just turn you into like a bigger person. You jump in, have a swim, and you just all of a sudden now you're 8'4". He goes back to Father and it's like, hey, you know, you weren't swimming around in the synth water, were you? He's like, no.
I wouldn't. You weren't drinking it, were you?
He's still got like a big like red splotch around his mouth. He's like, no. Well, Mr. Z, it's about time we headed back to Father for realsies. Having witnessed the joys of science, Nate heads back to Father.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Father. Hello, Father. Ha ha, that's our little joke.
And then they kiss.
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
If you expect me to be impressed by a lot of fancy sci-fi gizmos, you'd be wrong.
I see. It's not just about the gizmos, as you say.
I still don't really understand what it is you actually do here.
Yeah, what is the mission of the Institute?
Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal.
Oh, okay, cool. So what's the goal?
The goal is best summarized by our motto. Mankind, redefined.
Okay, but that's a slogan. What's the goal?
Unfortunately, no advancement comes with...
Mr. B, he just changes the topic.
Put yourself in Nate's shoes, right? We've come to the Institute, we've seen all this amazing science stuff. You've seen a person get made from scratch. So Nate would just have all of these questions.
Yeah.
So we talked to Father. He's like, I'll happily tell you every single piece of information you want to know so that you'll join us. Okay, why are you doing literally anything? Oh, you wouldn't get it. Okay.
Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision.
What do you mean by proper supervision?
I mean that while they are here in the Institute...
While the synths are here in the Institute?
Yeah.
Fulfilling the purpose for which they were designed.
Doing the thing that they were meant to do, designed to do.
Which is?
Our synths perform.
What is it they're going to perform?
Our synths perform admirably.
Listen, Dovahkiin, I'll explain it all later. But for now, if you're going to join the Institute, I need you to do a mission. You see,
The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute.
and the Railroad are keeping these synths in a secret base of theirs in a settlement called Bunker Hill.
The Railroad?
Tinker Tom wouldn't do something like that.
They no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings.
Seriously, this is a waste of my time.
Well, I'm in charge, so...
A courser will be waiting for you near Bunker Hill. You'll need him.
Watch him give you the side-eye.
So we head off to Bunker Hill to collect these synths and send them back to the Institute.
Mr. B, I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay.
I'm confused. Why are we here? What are we doing? What's the point?
So, there's 4 Institute synths in the basement of Bunker Hill, and they're being guarded by the Railroad.
Oh no.
But the Brotherhood of Steel are also here fighting the Railroad because they want to destroy the synths.
Oh no.
So what we're going to do is, while they're fighting, we're just going to sneak in and take the synths for ourselves.
Stealth action and espionage?
So we meet with our Corsa contact down a spooky alleyway.
I've been waiting for you.
Get that sarcastic?
Yeah, the line at the car wash was super long. Took me forever.
Your attempt at humor is wasted. Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection.
We are authorized to shoot anyone who gets in our way. Let's go.
Going shooting.
It's all kicking off now. Better get blasting, Nate. They're not really people, don't worry about it.
By the way, the blue lasers are our guys, red lasers are bad guys, purple lasers are Samuel L. Jackson.
You might get purple.
So we sneak into the bunker while they're all fighting.
Where's the hill?
And we find the synths. Ah, there they are. They sure do look scared, I tell you. I like the way they're just cowering, standing up there.
So we go up to one of the synths, and Nate says, "Alright, synth, time to go home." And the synth is like, "Oh no, please! Please don't make me go back to the Institute."
Why don't you want to go back?
I don't know. I wanted my own life, I guess.
You can hear the gunfire in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We talk to more of the synths, and they're all the same. They're afraid of going back to the Institute, Mr. Z.
Please don't make me go back. Please don't make me go back.
It was at this point that 2 synapses connected inside of Nate's brain. We, as a character, have a sudden, inexplicable change of heart. And he realized, wait a minute.
Nothing about Father's plan makes any sense.
Why is he devoting so many resources to making gorillas? I think they're just winging it. So, yes, I know that I will betray the Institute. I hate my stupid son.
Relax. You're free to go.
Really?
Yeah, sure, why not?
But, the Corsair isn't happy about that. He says,
I cannot allow you to set these synths free.
According to my calculations, you actually are not allowed to do that.
You will be terminated and your actions will be reported.
So we turn on X418, our best friend. I gotta do it. Wow, terrible.
He's the best.
The question is, did I fire 5 shots or 6? Do you feel lucky? That's some great combat, Mr. B.
What's that noise?
Alright, so we kill the Corsair. Anyway, here we go. That was probably the wrong decision. Uh-oh. And we leave Bunker Hill. Uh-oh, we're in big trouble. Mr. B. So Nate gets a call. Ring, ring. It's Sean, and he's angry.
You better meet me at the roof of the CIT tower right now.
Nate teleports there.
And on the roof, Father is there waiting for him.
Dad, I did something bad.
Daddy, I threw up.
I gotta tell you something, but you gotta promise not to be mad.
Father turns to us and says,
Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
Gulp?
Well,
I made a choice. I let the synths go free.
Why?
I thought it would be funny. I'm sorry.
Why would you do something so stupid?
So a few synths go missing. Why is this so important?
I gave you this opportunity to prove yourself.
And you squandered it. You threw it in the bin.
Sarcasm.
Your unconditional love is overwhelming.
We have been strangers until now, you and I.
I don't even know you. You're kind of a deadbeat dad.
Well, you went to all that effort to get your papa back.
Was it worth it?
No! Of course it wasn't! You fucked up everything, Nate!
Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset. How can I expect you to represent the Institute if this sort of thing continues?
Maybe I don't want to represent the Institute, Sean. Maybe I want to set the synths free.
Have you thought about that?
To be quite honest, no, I hadn't considered that. It would be such a poor decision on your part. I had not given it much thought.
I don't want to be involved in this, Sean. I want out.
After all this, after everything you've seen, all that you've learned, you're just going to walk away?
Nate dejectedly says,
I can't be a part of this anymore.
I will not join the Institute.
I hoped you shared our vision for the future. If you are not with us, then you are against us.
That's the science way.
Whatever you do going forward, do not interfere with the Institute's plans.
So Nate leaves his son with some final words.
I dreamed of you as an adult for so long. Here you are. And I'm so disappointed.
Goodbye, Father.
And then Sean teleports away.
Can you go back to this Institute still?
No.
Ah, it was nice in there. They had air conditioning. Well, what are we supposed to do now, Mr. B?
Well, I think we'll go hang out with Preston, because, he'll probably have an idea what to do.
Sounds great, Mr. B. Off we go. Nate's got a shitty son, so we're gonna go to Preston Garvey and talk to him. He can be my new son.
Need something?
Hey, Preston, some stuff has gone down. It's been pretty crazy.
Crazy?
I found this place. They're called the Institute. For 200 years, scientists have been expanding on it and building it out with all sorts of technology the world has never seen before. It is the future of the Commonwealth. Now, here's my idea. We kill everyone in there, especially the scientists, and replace it with you, me, a drug-addled old lady,
and Sturgis. Hey!
This is even worse than Father's plan.
I've made my choice. The Institute is now our enemy.
I always knew that day was coming. The question now is, what are we gonna do about it?
I say we attack. Take the fight to the Institute.
Wow, that's messed up. But I'm in, General. Lead the way.
No half measures. This time, when we attack, we finish the job. Once and for all.
Such an escalation.
Why?
For all the criticism we have of Preston, you have to respect his level of ride or die. Nate says, but I don't even know how we're supposed to get in, Preston. I doubt we're going to be able to do that teleporter gambit again.
I have some good news for you. Sturgis found a way into the Institute.
When you teleported in, Sturgis hacked their network or something, and he found a secret passage.
We can launch an attack whenever you say the word. In the meantime, I'll let you know if I hear of any settlements that need our help.
Yeah, thanks, Preston. So we track down Sturgis.
And Nate says,
Preston tells me you found a way into the Institute.
That's right. Turns out they're still using an old water pipe that runs out to the river. Brings in cooling water to their reactor.
So you're telling me that they invented teleportation powers, and then they didn't even seal off the building? There's just a back door.
Yes, but there's a hitch, Nate.
Its entrance is underwater. Also, the whole pipe is labeled high radiation danger.
Mr. Z, I'd like to just take a quick sec here and recognize a very big story mode moment. This is the final sarcastic speech option we have in this playthrough. Go on, Nate. Knock 'em dead.
Breaking through an underwater security grate in high radiation? Sounds like fun.
Now, as soon as you get in there, you need to access the main relay control and use this holotape to teleport everybody into the Institute.
You telling me we're gonna teleport all the Minutemen into the Institute and then just f the place up?
That's right. Sounds like fun.
Alright, we're off to that water pipe. Let's go. We make it to a small jetty out the back of the CIT ruins. So Nate dives into the beautiful blue water.
Now, we swim along until we find this big pipe.
Speaking of pipes, we brought Piper with us.
Oh.
She should be just behind us. Piper? Piper?
She didn't make it.
Oh no.
She's just floating somewhere in the pipe.
She didn't take a breath in before she jumped in.
Well, no, she jumps into the water and then she takes a deep breath.
Oh, really? So Nate goes and slides through all these water pipes.
Nate fights his way through the sewers, beating back the ghouls, running through tunnels, shooting down some Siths. Look out, Nate, it's a glowing one! We then hack a terminal. Morpheus, I'm in. Careful, Nate. It's a matrix in there. You're telling me I'm gonna learn to love a robot? Over at the nearby terminal, we activate a holotape.
Hijacking the teleporter signals, which means that we can teleport the Minutemen right on in.
The boys start beaming in. Welcome everyone to the Institute. Look, they sweep.
Preston walks out first, and he says,
Man, that was something else. Guess I'm still in one piece. Need something?
Need something? Alright, Preston Garvey has spent his whole life in the wasteland. He has seen nothing but destruction and mayhem. So when he walks in here, he would have never seen something so pristine in his entire life.
This would just be something so beyond your comprehension. You're seeing things that you could not even dream of.
You'd be like, what is this place? This is incredible. And he's like,
so this is the Institute. In any case, here we are. No turning back now.
Alright, General, here are your orders. The Institute has a big power reactor in the lower levels. We need to fight our way down there and plant this nuclear bomb fuse within the reactor's core. Once that's done, we teleport out of here and blow this place sky high!
Once it's attached to the reactor, it can be detonated remotely, and we can trigger an explosion that'll destroy everything the Institute has ever built.
But it's like, why? You'd come down here and be like, wow, this place is incredible. Maybe we should just brutalize the people and keep the place for ourselves.
Mr. Garvey goes on to say,
just make sure we give the civilians a chance to escape before we blow the place. We're not here to commit mass murder.
Alright, that sounds fair, says Nate.
We better hurry.
So Nate and the Minutemen fight their way through endless waves of synths, pushing deeper into the Institute's facilities. They keep blasting through all these synths until they get over to the gorilla enclosure. The glass screen opens. In fact, they charge with malintent. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
They call this guerrilla warfare. Please, slide.
Alright, no more messing around. We need to find the reactor. We move on, and we clear the main atrium of synths. And then Nate says, listen, Preston, before we blow this amazing place up, there's just one last loose end I need to tie up.
Is it a settlement?
No, I need to go see my son.
You have a son? Damn, that's messed up. So we go up to Father's office and we see...
Oh. Is he lying in a bed? What's that?
I didn't expect to see you again.
What's happened to you? Are you sick?
Well, don't pretend to care now.
You don't even care, Dad.
You had your chance to help me, and cast me aside instead.
Nate says nothing.
He made this whole point of, there is no love between us. We are strangers. We don't know each other. And then all of a sudden he's trying to pull the, I'm your son, Nate, you little baby boy. Written by different people, I guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
Different people working on different parts.
It's not enough that I lay here dying. Now you plan on what? Destroying everything?
Yeah.
Well, none of it matters now, I suppose. You'll ruin humanity's best hope for the future.
Yeah, which is?
Now go. Just leave me.
Okay.
So, wow, what is that guy's problem? Alright, we're in the final stretch now. With the Minutemen in tow, Nate pushes through the Advanced Systems Lab into the Institute's reactor. All we need to do is shut down the reactor, plant this charge, and then we can blow it up. But we need to get through these synths first, and there's a lot of them. Don't you think it's kind of a fitting parallel that nuclear war is what got us here in the first place, and now we're blowing up another nuclear bomb to end it? You ever think about that?
That's pretty ironic. It's like an Ouroboros, and it's shitting into its own mouth.
Alright, we've planted the charge. Preston radios Sturgis and says,
Sturgis, you reading me? We're done down here. Zap us back to the relay room. Okay, let's move.
Sturgis teleports us back to the entrance.
Mr. Garvey says,
All right, Sturgis, we're done. Get us the hell out of here.
Yeah, I would, man. But, this kid showed up. Says he's the general's son.
My son? But wait a minute. This is that little baby synth from before?
My baby boy. Now, the young synth Sean says,
Please, Dad, don't leave me here. I want to go with you.
Mr. B, tough love.
You're not going anywhere with me. You're not my son.
I'm sorry, son. You must stay in the blast radius. You're just an exact clone of my son, but with a gizmo.
But you can't just leave me here. I don't want to die. Please, just think about it for a second.
You're not Sean. You're a robot. Made to think you're real.
Fucking lip syncing right.
You're just gonna leave me here? I can't believe it. I hate you.
You'll understand when you're older. Now, we're just about to leave. Come on, Sturgis, let's go. What the I thought that was a PNG that came in. Holy shit, that was like a good jump scare.
Oh, Barbara, she's like, you heard the scoop?
Oh my god, Nate, the Institute is real. Are you seeing this?
All right, Sturgis. Fire it up.
Didn't leave anything behind, did you?
Yeah, I am forgetting something. All the resources in the world, practically endless energy, agricultural technology, water purifiers, teleportation technology.
All set to get out of here?
To what? Go out of here to what?
The life we've built out there?
Absolutely. Let's get the hell out of here.
This place gives me the willies.
You got it.
So Nate, Preston, and Piper, who's just showed up again, step onto the teleporter, and Sturgis sends us away.
Flash. Scene end.
We're teleported to the roof of a nearby skyscraper. Preston, who's here as well, he says,
Whenever you want to see humanity's best hope for the future go up in smoke, just hit that button.
Fuck you, Preston Garvey.
You're right, this was a bad idea. Cancel it, shut it down.
We turn around, and in front of us is a big red button, the detonator. Well, here goes nothing.
Mr. B, maybe we shouldn't.
A bright blue explosion erupts from beneath the old CIT ruins. The Institute is no more.
So did anyone pick up Sean on the way up? The idea of doing a nuclear explosion downtown, it's such a ridiculous choice. Even if you was be like, okay, well, we got all the civilians out, and let's say that's true, which it isn't, you have coated the whole place in radioactive dust.
I think there's a name for that.
It's going to be months before you can return, at best.
Yeah.
See this spot right here? That's Diamond City.
Yep.
You could have just left it abandoned. You could have destroyed some of the technology inside. Instead, it's like, because the Institute kills people, they did this. Roll the end card thing.
I can feel it wash over me. The heat, the force, the radiation, the fear.
Oh my god.
It's the end of the world all over again. This wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in. The Commonwealth.
I'm the mayor.
My home. Ripped apart and put back together. I hoped I could find my family, cheat time, make us whole again. The way we were. But now I know. I know I can't go back. I know the world has changed. road ahead will be hard. This time, I'm ready. Because I know war. War never changes.
Did you hear that little upwards inflection? He had a bit of a smirk when he said that.
War never changes.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. The curling of the right lip. Well, Mr. B, I think we did it. We picked the single worst ending for the game.
Can you imagine if Tinker Tom was there to press that button?
Little explosive button. The Brotherhood of Steel. Boy, did that not come up again. What a cliffhanger to leave people on. And you know what else didn't come up again? Kellogg.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what else didn't come up again? Skinny Malone. And you know what else didn't come up again?
Our marriage to Dr. Amari.
And you know what else didn't come up again? Piper's sister. Yeah.
Yeah. She's gone.
Yep. And Virgil? We forgot to get... Oh, God, I forgot to get... Oh, no. What have we done?
He's just sitting in his cave. He's like, any minute. You're going to be right back. You're going to have my syrup.
Uh-oh. Virgil? Virgil, I gotta tell you something. It's really
I got
bad.
some bad. You got to promise.
It's like exactly the same as the father scene. I'm so sorry. We just thought you liked being, like, strong and stuff.
Do you want to have some final words for Fallout 4, Mr. Z?
Oh, yeah. Boy, do I. I think we proved that war...
Yeah. What about it?
...is bad. Can't we all just get along? And you know what?
What's that?
One last thing.
Please.
I heard that Mr. Russell survived after all and he was looking for us.
Mr. Russell comes out of the vault and he's like, oh my God, this place is crazy. He walks down to Red Rocket and Dogmeat's there. And Dogmeat's like, I can take you to Nate. And he's like, oh my God. Dogmeat takes him all the way through Boston to the CIT ruins because that's where Nate's scent goes dry. And they're waiting in the courtyard, Dogmeat and Mr. Russell, and they're like, wow, Nate must be around here somewhere. Do you smell that?
Don't forget Gamer Subs. Gamer Subs has got, we got the best damn cup in town.
Put two girls next to it. Oh my God, you won't believe what they can put in it.
Gamersubs.gg, 10% discount, so many flavors, and a cup? What's going on there? Oh man, it's reading my mood. Stop reading my mood.